Hi everyone. So this is about my father. Throughout this video, I'm going to have it so you see some pictures of us. But like I just really want to get into like the relationship with my father and how like complex it is and like why I feel it's that way. So let's start from the beginning. February 11, 1992, my dad goes into the hospital where I was born and sees me and fills out all the paperwork. I was born with drugs in my system, so I was automatically a child of the system. I lived with my auntie and my cousin and my dad and my mom often. I saw her all the time. I don't really have much memory of them because I was like born until like I was like 5 years old. But so just from what people have told me, you know, photo albums and stuff like that. Then from 5 years old until about 9, from 5 until 9, I was with my mother. And then I spent a year in foster care. Then my dad got custody of me when I was about 10, because I remember that I celebrated my 10th birthday with the Filipino family who was my foster parents. And I was in his care from the age of 10 until 16. Basically, I started going to like juvenile hall when I was 15. 16, I got pregnant and I stayed in a group home for 2 years until I emancipated and I turned 13. So during that time, I was always with my dad. Like I don't remember my dad not being around. You know, my dad has always been there. Now, do I think that my dad has always been there because, oh my God, he just loves being a dad? Do I think that he just, you know, took care of his responsibility? Do I think that maybe he's honestly just done all of this out of guilt, maybe feeling like an obligation? So like even though my dad has always been in my life, and let him tell it, I've always been like a daddy's girl. Like sometimes he would, these are his words because I don't remember, that he would leave to go to work and I would cry, and I would cry so like with so much passion and heartbreak that he oftentimes would call out of work. Now, does that make sense to me? No, now because, you know, I'm a grown-ass woman, I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like, dude, he could have played hide and seek or something and like went and made some money. Like, I don't understand this whole, oh, I'm just not gonna go to work because my baby was crying. Like, I don't get it. But that's what he did. Our relationship was pretty much normal. I mean, like he was always around. My mom and my dad were never together. I'm a product of like a friend with benefit type of get down. But my dad, like I said, he's always been in my fucking life. When I was a baby, he got into some kind of argument with his sister, my aunt, and hanged up the phone and never called them back. It wasn't until I was like 14 where it was a knock on the door, and this private investigator was like, hey, is this the address to so-and-so? And I was like, yeah, that's my dad. And he's like, oh, okay. And then my dad spoke to the guy, and he was like, oh, well, I'm considering, you know, talking to my sister and to my mother again. Like, I don't even I don't even know what, you know, was going on. So when I was like 14, I met my aunt, and the first time we met, and like, and this is a shit that I don't get with my dad. He always, sorry, I had ordered Postmates. I'm eating some tacos in a little bit. So he's like always been like, he's always like, so my aunt came to visit, and I guess the whole car ride from the airport to our apartment, and we lived in a studio apartment in downtown. Like, I don't understand his process. It's like he doesn't think it fully through. So anyway, I'm sleeping, and this woman who I've never met just comes and hugs me and starts kissing, and I push her off. I'm literally sleeping, and her feelings got hurt, and my dad's yelling at me, and I was sleeping. So, and then I had to go to court because I was already on probation, and like, that just wasn't a good time to meet, you know what I mean? Like, we had our own inner family issues, and the first time I meet my aunt, she's coming with us to court. Like, so from the beginning, there was, it wasn't like a good, it wasn't like a good, you know, setups. Another example I could think of, I went to Berrindo Middle School, and one second. So I was in Berrindo Middle School, and I got into a fight. I had maybe 2 fights in middle school, maybe. Oh, but anyway, I had a fight, and my dad comes in acting like, I can't believe she did this. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, principal. Like, this is like, I don't know, like, she's out of control. Like, I don't know what, you know, whatever. But then we literally went to get ice cream. There was literally like no talk. There was no discipline. There was no, oh, I'm really disappointed in you. Like, there was nothing. And it was just like a full act between him and the principal. And then we went and got food and took me home, and that was it. So my dad has always been like that. And so it's really difficult to know when he's serious and when he's joking and when he's just talking shit. And then he gets into this like power trip, and he starts screaming, and he wants just everyone to look at him, and it's extremely like, it's embarrassing, but it's also like, why are you acting like that? Like, even like today, like I am 28 years old. The unit, the entire building is 100 years old, and there's a lot of insects and creatures, you know, roaches, bed bugs, mice, you know, that pop up, and the maintenance guy does the bare minimum, and the maintenance guy got mad that I was, you know, complaining, and the manager was like, I don't know why she's complaining either, because like, I'm not on the contract, like, I don't live with them, you know, I don't live with my dad. And I was just like, so because I'm not on the contract, my dad used to live with mice? And my dad was like not home, and he, you know, and so then like, I was the adult, you know, in the home, and so I was there, and the maintenance guy comes in, and he's like, okay, so where are the holes? And I'm like pointing them out, and he's just like really upset. And I'll show a clip of that too, of what I'm talking about. But then like, as soon as my dad comes, instead of having my back and being like, well, she's right. Like, I don't care if she doesn't live here. I don't care if she's not on a contract. Why the hell are the mice still a fucking problem? Like, we've been dealing with mice since last year. Last December was the first time I noticed. Like, my dad has lately been going to, like, the eye doctor and stuff. Like, I'm the one who's gonna notice. I'm the one who's cleaning. I'm the one who's there doing it. My dad is disabled. My dad is retired. You know, and I'm his only daughter. So yeah, I'm around, and maintenance guy, and manager. Like, I am gonna say something. Like he doesn't have to live like that. And they're trying to be like, oh, well, it just didn't make sense. And instead of my dad, you know, having my back, because I'm not wrong, he told me to basically mind my business. And my dad has never, ever in my life defended me. Another example I can show, I can tell. We went to court, right? We're in the court, whatever. He literally told the lawyer he didn't want me home. Like, okay, so then when I asked him, like, he's the one who did that. Like, he was the first one. Like, my dad called the police on me. My dad was the reason why I got arrested the first time. Even when I was doing good, I literally just had like a newborn baby, and I was literally still bleeding, like the cramps and all that. I didn't heal properly at all. You know, my dad's like making me run all over LA, like running errands for him. Like, I had to get a lamp, and it's like I got out of the hospital yesterday. Like, he had me like. My dad was so fucking awful to me when I was fucking pregnant. Like, I don't care if he doesn't take responsibility. I don't care if he doesn't fucking remember. But I know what happened. He used to call my PO, like my PO was his girlfriend. Okay? And then when the PO was sick of him, you know, calling him, I had court date the day after Christmas, December 26, 2008. My daughter's birthday is in October. Like, that's seriously what the fuck happened. I went into juvenile hall. I didn't see my daughter for like 10 days. And it's because of my judge. And I was like, I just have like my judge was an Asian judge. I don't know if I can say her name, so I'm not going to. And she was very like following through my case. Like, I feel like she really made the best choices for me. Like, I truly believe that she saw that I was working hard, I was staying out of trouble, I was a new mother. And my dad's over here calling fucking probation officers on me, and I had to go 10 days without my newborn baby. He did that. I didn't do nothing. Like, I just had a fucking baby. My dad fucking hates me. Like, I don't care what the fuck he says. Like, my dad has literally looked me in my eyes and told me, I hate you. And I believe that he apologized, and he's like, I don't hate you. How can I hate you? Like you're here with me and all this. But no, like, actions speak louder than words. He doesn't defend me. He put me into the fucking system. Our relation, so after that, so the judge, you know, really followed through, and she was like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't want to go home. I just want my baby. Like, and she sent me to a placement, Crittenton, in Orange County, Fullerton. And I got there, And then 2 days later, so it was almost 2 weeks that I didn't have my baby. And then my baby comes, and then my baby had like a diaper rash, and she didn't have the right formula. And my dad literally packed up all my shit. My dad literally packed up the shit that I had in my fucking trash can. Like, he literally like packed up all my shit. I didn't talk to him for 6 months after that. Why? He came every Sunday to visit me, and he would drop off money, and I would be like, I'm not seeing him. And like, I feel like that's valid. I'm sorry, I was really fucked up. Like, I had a newborn baby, I couldn't even be there for her. That's probably why my daughter and I have like fucking attachment issues. Like, that's probably what the fuck happened. Then he didn't want to do family sessions. Alright, he probably did like a few, and like the only way he did it was like during our visit. So it wasn't like, okay, like we had a visit and then like during the week he came again. Like, no, I didn't get a home pass. That was the last placement that I was in, but there was a placement before that. I was 15. I had already been on probation for drug possession with intent to sell. I didn't go to juvenile hall for that. I went to juvenile hall because I came home one day. I was really upset. You know, teenage girl who just, you know, got dumped. I get home and I'm like really upset. And I swear to this day, he fucking spit on me. And I grabbed his fucking work boot and I rocked his fucking world. He left. I grabbed a suitcase. I started packing. Cops came. I couldn't finish packing. I went into juvenile hall. I mean, that makes sense, right? Then I did a month in juvenile. I did a month in juvenile hall. I went to East LA Juvenile Hall, and then they transferred me to, it's been so many years, it starts with the S. Don't remember, give me a second. No. Okay, so I don't remember the freaking juvenile hall, but it was far. It was like not too far from like Lancaster, Palmdale area. So anyway, I went to that juvenile hall, and I'm gonna speak a little bit about the juvenile hall system. I don't know why, but they didn't tell my dad that I was transferring juvenile halls. My dad visited me every Sunday at 2 o'clock, period. Whether I talked to him or not, whatever the hell happened or not, he was there Sunday at 2 o'clock. And I get so I didn't have a phone call because he didn't, you know, accept collect calls, and that juvenile hall didn't have like a house phone type line for us to just call like East LA has had. I don't know, it's been a long ass time. So I when I was able to call him was like maybe 2 weeks later. Like, imagine 2 weeks or so not really knowing where the hell your kid is. Like, my dad, no, it wasn't 2 weeks, that's a lie. It was a whole week at least. It was like a whole fucking week. So but imagine that, like, your kid's in the system but you still don't know where the hell your kid is. It's terrifying, you know. And so I got interviewed and accepted into a placement. I went into a placement. This placement was like Palmdale, Lancaster area. And as soon as I get into the house, I asked if I could please call my dad. And the staff is like, well, you don't really have an approved contact list and this and that. And I'm like, I haven't seen my dad in a week. I'm calling my dad. I called my dad. They made me, you know, put him on speaker to make sure it was my dad. Like, I'm not an AWOL risk. I've never, like, I'm gonna fucking stay because there was nothing else out there for me. Like, let me just do my time. Like, I've always had like that mentality. So I was there, and he seemed to want me. He seemed to want to work on our relationships and our relationship, and he went to like he saw me every Sunday 2 o'clock at the train station, because the train station to the placement there was no way for him to get there. He took like the Amtrak or whatever train. Like, that's how he would travel the distance. We had a truck. It was this big ass red truck, but it wasn't like his. It was like his friends. But we had a vehicle. That was my point. But that was the kind of vehicle we had. So instead of spending, $1 billion on gas, he, saw me that way. And so we would meet at the train station, and we would talk for maybe 15 minutes, because then the next train was leaving back to LA. And he gave me money, and I will call him maybe like once a day, just say, oh hi, like I had a good day, oh hey, like this happened, like oh have a good night, stuff like that. We attempted to do this thing called wraparound. Is when people come into your house and try to give you the support to like love each other and deal with each other, basically. And he felt like they were judging him, and they were just like on my side, basically. And he kicked them all out the house, and that was that. And I got more involved into the streets, fighting, selling drugs, stuff like that. And I started spending a lot of time with my daughter's father. Like a lot, like, how school has like shortened days. Like right after school, I was taking the bus, I was seeing him, like that was happening. The weekends, I would say like, oh, I'm going to my best friend's Michelle's house, and I would actually like go with him or be with him or something. And I did that until I got pregnant. And then when I got pregnant, and how awful my dad was, I asked my PO, who this time was a Hispanic woman, and she was like, I'm gonna put you on house arrest, because like me getting pregnant was a violation of probation, basically. So she's like, I'm gonna put you on house arrest because I see that you're improving, like your grades are good in school, you haven't missed it. Like I was ahead in school, like I was basically living like a double life, like seriously. And I told her, I was like, no, if you put me on house arrest, like, I'm gonna cut this shit off and you guys will never find me ever the fuck again. I was so serious. I had this whole fucking plan in my head. I never spoke on it, but I was fucking ready to raise my baby in fucking Mexico. Like, I didn't give a shit. Like, that probably would have been a way better fucking road, honestly, than what the fuck I ended up fucking doing. Staying in a group home during my whole fucking pregnancy. I mean, it was the best choice because I was fully taken care of. My doctor's appointments, the nurse went with me, pregnancy classes, pregnancy classes, parenting classes. I had experience. I was able to get experience babysitting, and being around other teen moms who were like going to high school or also working and who've been in the system like all their lives because they never met their parents, or their parents themselves were in prison, or something. And so I'm really like, I was really like seeing like all these amazing young women like taking care of of their baby, and like their baby was their whole world. I mean, sometimes the babies, you know, got taken away. Sometimes living in a placement, you know, with 60 girls, 60, yeah, it's a lot of fucking bitches. You know, so sometimes, you know, you're young. Girls were like, I believe like 13 through like 18. You know, I think one was probably 19, but she was like something was like up with her. Like I don't want to say what she was diagnosed with, because I don't really know, but I feel like one or two people were kind of like a bit older than, you know, everyone else. And it was a mix of like foster youth and probation youth. So when you get those two together, yeah, you know, and then I was released. Shortly after I was released, I had my baby. My dad was the first person to hold my daughter because I was in so much fucking pain. But even my fucking labor, like, he was not nice at all. I went into labor. He was sleeping. Once again, we still lived in the studio apartment, and I was trying my best to be quiet because he was sleeping. And if you've ever been in labor, it really depends on your pain tolerance. And I'm a punk. I have like 11 tattoos, and I gave the tattoo artists like the toughest time. And I was just like so stubborn because I wanted my tattoos, but oh my god, it hurt so much. He left while I was in labor to pick up my grandmother, who flew in from Chile. He was the first one to hold my daughter. Like I said, we lived like not even a block away from the hospital. I didn't walk. I wasn't able to walk to the hospital because I was in so much pain. I took the ambulance. It wasn't even a block away. Thank goodness for insurance, right? Yeah, and then like what I had said earlier, like after I had my baby, he like my grandma was kind of like older. She's now like she's like 90, I believe, 89, 90 now. So about 10 years ago, she was like in her 70s. About 12 years ago, yeah. So she was like in her late 60s, 70s, early 70s, I believe, because now she's like 89. Because the kid's 12 now, so that just like makes sense. And he slept on the floor. I like tried to co-sleep, and we, you know, put the baby in the crib, and I was with her during the day, and he pretty much took over at night, or vice versa. But it wasn't ideal at all. So he would like start, and my dad does this, like he starts talking shit like out of the clear blue fucking sky. Will bring up some shit that has nothing to do with any fucking thing, something that I thought we were over, something that we worked past, and then I feel like I have to defend myself because no one defends me. Like I've said this shit so many times, like no one defends me. And then, you know, if I talk back, you're over here cussing me out, and I just have to sit there and listen. I guess that's what the fuck he wanted. This was like, that's fucking abuse. Like, you can't just be doing that shit to people. He would call my PO. This PO was a Asian male who did not fucking like me for shit, because he gave me a court date the day after freaking Christmas. Had no problem separating me from my baby, and I never saw that motherfucker again. And I hope he's in horrible fucking health. I'm being completely fucking honest. You can't go, I mean, you can, because people are doing it, but like, separating mothers with their kids for what? I mean, I don't really know another option he had, but I feel like it was too quick. It was way too fucking quick. Like, can I enjoy my baby? No, I can't. I didn't. I didn't get to enjoy her when she was that small. I didn't. So yeah, I got a court date, and then about 2 weeks later, I was reunited with my daughter, and then my daughter and I stayed there until February 2010. And I'm so grateful for Crittenton, even though I fucking hated being there. It was like 60 girls. I had such a hard time accepting what happened, because one, it was 100% my dad. Two, I literally didn't do nothing. Like, I just had a fucking baby. Like, I wasn't even behind in school. Yo, I graduated 2 weeks after my 18th birthday. My birthday's in February. My graduating class was in June. I graduated in February. And I had a baby. So, like, it was just so my dad's so, like, unstable and, like, really weird. But I do know he'll be there Sunday at 2 o'clock. Like, I mean, at least, like, he got that, you know, going. My mom passed. I'm gonna do another video about my mom, but, like, my mom had I had mentioned I was a drug baby. My mom was clean for a few years while I was with her. We lived in Hollywood. She was so amazing. My mom was so nice. She was so amazing. I'm not gonna cry. Like, my mom was, I want to make a whole other video about her pretty soon. But yeah, she was, like, you know, struggling with a lot of things that it makes me, like, I don't fuck with my mom's side of the family. Like, I can't justify being around them at all, and I hope they're in horrible health also. And that's just, you know, what I think. But, like, my mom, like, disappeared when I was like because she relapsed, and then, like, she disappeared. And then my mom passed January 2005, and I didn't even know. No one knew until May. So, like, 5 months later, we didn't even know she was dead. We thought that she was just, like, I thought my mom, because my mom, I'm gonna speak on her very quickly. My mom was honest. She didn't hide or was ashamed of her struggle. Like, I went with her to her therapist. I went with her to her NA meetings. You know, I went with her. So I know that she was trying, you know, and I went to community college only, but I took a couple of, not a couple, I took a lot of psych classes. Like, I have a certificate in general psychology, and my goal was to go to Cal State Long Beach in the psychology department and become a group home therapist. But you know, life had different plans. So that's how and why my dad got custody of me from 10 on, like, and that's basically how I went into the system and all that. Because my dad, at the time, I think he was truck driving or a taxi or something, but he didn't have a place to live, like a stable place to live. Like, he was, like, you know, always on the road, in and out of hotels, and just, like, you know, he saw me, like, every other day, or, like, week, like my dad was always in my life. Like, I don't have like a minute where I'm like, oh yeah, he didn't care. Like, no, like, well, I don't know if he didn't care, but, like, he was present. like, you know, like my dad and I, like, we have our inside jokes and stuff, but when it comes to like real heavy, like, I need a father, like, he don't want to listen, he don't want to hear it, he don't care. I'm the fucking bad guy. A fucking stranger could like tell him anything about me and he's gonna fucking believe it. I have a lot of resentment for how mean he was to me while I was pregnant. I have a lot of resentment of, you know, being away from my friends because I had to, you know, because of him. Like, I didn't commit a crime. I didn't do anything to get me taken back into the system. I didn't do anything for me to be there with 60 other women for 2 fucking years. You know, I had like so much shit stolen from me. I got into so many like arguments, not really fights, but really just like shit that like I didn't deserve. Like, I didn't commit a fucking crime. This motherfucker is just like calling the PO, like the PO's his fucking girlfriend, like gonna give him a freaking wet one real quick or something. Like, super, like, what the fuck? So I feel that type of way, right? So when I turned 18, like, I didn't move back home. I didn't have a home to, dude, my dad abandoned the apartment that I lived in, that we lived in. He abandoned it. He just left. He started traveling. He went to Canada. He went to Chile. There was an earthquake in Chile. I graduated high school. I was in OC by myself, but he always sent me money. Like, you know, my dad has always provided. Yes, you know, him, food, clothes, shelter, the basics, sure, no problem. But the real shit, the real hey, don't talk to my daughter that way. The hey, lower your voice, she's a lady. Like, no. You can sit here and dead ass, point blank fucking shoot me, and if my dad's there, I'm pretty sure he'll be like, whoa, shit. Like, I don't feel like my dad never protected me. My dad never fucking defended me. My dad is never on my fucking side. And I'm his only one. And because of how my mom passed away, and the fact I lost my mom, you know, like, I don't think, and like how I was created, like my mom and my dad, they were not married, you know, so it was not like, oh yeah, you know, they known each other for a few years and then they got together and blah 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 blah. Like, no, it was I think my dad like was doing janitorial work at that time at like a local like shelter or something, and my mom was homeless in the food line, and he looked at her, and my mom was a very pretty woman, and he was like, oh well, hey, you're hungry, come with me, like I'm gonna go get food. And that's how they met. You know, so I was he was 37 when I came into the picture. So I feel like if kids and like a family, like if that stuff is like, you know, in your mind, you know, those things are usually taken care of before you're 37, you know. So and then the fact that he was in this country by himself, his sister and his mother, my grandfather passed away. I never got to meet my grandfather. My grandfather, you know, sounds pretty cool from the stories that my dad tells. I sometimes wish, like, I seriously wish, like, I could talk to my grandpa and be like, hey, your son's an asshole. Like, why the fuck is he doing this to me? Like, you know, my dad's very much the kind of person who he can entertain, no problem, but he really is like by himself. He's okay with being by himself. I'm a lot like that also. I don't mind, you know, my own company. One thing that I do wish though, I do wish my dad was on my side. I do. And when I went to college, my dad and I used to have a lot of fights, and I was just like, but I'm going to college, like I'm trying to improve myself. Like he just wanted, I feel like he was happier with me when I was miserable working like fast food jobs. I feel like he was happier when I was, you know, locked up, and he, you know, as long as he saw me once a week, like that was cool, you know. So it's been really hard, because with those stories that I told you, it's been really hard. It's really hard for me to trust him. I don't trust him. I don't think he's genuine at all. I think he does things because he knows it's the right thing to do, but not because he honestly wants to do it. And that really bothers me. He's a lot better being a grandfather, though. I feel like most people are, it's like kind of their second chance. I don't know, maybe, I don't know what the hell's going on through you know, my dad's head. Like I don't know, but from the young girl that I was, that I you know, I witnessed my mom relapse. I went to my I stayed with my aunt and my cousin and my big brother. My dad didn't like me being over there because one time he picked me up and I had like a few bruises. Me and my brother and I, like, my brother, that's one of the reasons why I gained weight, because like my brother like fucking picked my ass up and threw me onto the couch, and then the couch flipped. I was like, you know what, give me another burrito. Like, I never want to be that light that anyone could just like, I never want to be that fucking light again. Like, no, thank you. And then, you know, he didn't like that, so I went into the system, and it's just like, shut the fuck up, stop talking to people. Like, you know, like I went to the system, you know, the Filipino family, and then my dad got it together, and then I was with him, and then my mom disappeared, and I had to deal with that. And my mom passed away, and I had a mental breakdown in school because I was still going to school. Like, my dad didn't tell me, you know what, maybe you should take a break. Maybe, you know, why don't we, you know, take a drive somewhere? Why don't we, you know, take a trip somewhere? Why don't we do something together? Just you and me, baby. Like, no, I was still like, I woke up, like I found out my mom died, and the next day I went to school. Like, normal fucking day. And he did give me therapy, and that really didn't work, because when I lost my virginity, she fucking told him, and he was a big fucking mess, and I rather fucking talk to a camera than talk to a damn fucking therapist now, because it's like, okay, well, at least share this link and you can fully hear my fucking side instead of someone else's perspective. Then I, you know, got into the age of starting to like boys, and I didn't want to be, it was a single studio. Like, if things were different, things would have been different. I feel like if he saved his money and got into one bedroom and I had my own room, a lot of things could have been fucking different just by that. Or moving into, you know, a better neighborhood. You know, we're not poor. Like, we've always had, you know, we've always had money, but like, my dad is really, really bad at saving. He literally, I was like, Daddy, don't you want an RV? Like, save $100 every month. Like, that's $1,200 right there. Like, maybe you could get a used one or something. Like, are you crazy? Like, no, I'm not. You just been saying that you want a fucking RV for all these fucking years. So okay, never mind. I'll shut up. You know. Or I try to like talk to him, and I automatically feel like I'm being annoying. Like that's pretty much my relationship with my dad. I forget. Through the little remote.